Hey everyone, I'm Tori, and I'm going to present to you my vocabulary first grade lesson plan. The teacher objective is to sort words into categories like colors, clothing, or animals to gain a sense of the concepts the categories represent. So for my review, I'm going to show the students a video of the reading of Chester's Way, and they're going to watch this video, and I expect them to find things in the book that fit into three categories: the characters by name, food, and activities. That's going to be the three categories they're looking for. And I'll show y'all a short piece of the video because it's kind of long.
Welcome to Storyline Online, brought to you by the Screen Actors Guild Foundation. I'm Katie LeClaire, and I'm Vanessa Morano. Today I'm using American Sign Language for the deaf and hard of hearing viewers. And we will be reading Chester's Way, written and illustrated by Kevin Lucas. Chester had his own way of doing things. Hello, my name is Chester. I like croquet and peanut butter and making my bed. He always cut his sandwiches diagonally. He always got out of bed on the same side. And he never left the house without double knotting his shoes. Chester.
Sorry, y'all can't really see the video well, but it's on the Professor Garfield website, and it's really cool because someone is doing sign language with it as well, which I loved. So the importance of this lesson is to teach the students what categories represent and to allow them to gain knowledge about categorizing in the future. Yesterday we read a book and listed some different categories, and the students had to find things in the story that belonged to each category, which is why we did the review like that today. Today we will place items in different categories and review why they go into each category. Tomorrow we will take a quiz on categories and items belonging to each category. The objective is the learner will sort words into categories to gain a sense of the concepts the categories represent. For the motivation, I will show the students a short video on categorization. And this one is not word categorization, but it's going to give them a little insight on how putting words into categories can be the same as categorizing things they've already know how to put into categories like shapes and colors. So hopefully this one will show up better.
Square comes over here, rounded, 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 and rounded. And these shapes all have all straight edges. So that's another way to classify. That's the end of our lesson on classification. In this lesson, you will learn about classification. Here we have a bunch of different shapes. We're going to classify or group them in some different ways. The first way we're going to group them or classify them is by color. So let's put all the same color together. I see red here, and there's red. Let's put the yellows together. Green over here. This one's yellow, goes over here. I see another yellow, I'm going to put that with yellow. This one's different. Let's see blue.
And that one's not very long at all, but it just shows them that they already know how to categorize things, so it makes it a little easier for them. For the procedures, my behavioral objective is that the learner will sort words into categories to gain a sense of the concepts the categories represent with 85% accuracy, and that's Bloom's evaluating level of taxonomy. So for the first procedure, we're going to do category blast off. And in this one, they have different categories that are in triangles. So I'm going to have the students get in little groups of 2 or 3, and they're going to pick 2 categories that are going to be flipped over, so it's going to be random. I'll do vegetables and animals. So they'll put their 2 categories and flip all the cards over. And we're going to have reviewed these, of course, before. But student 1 is going to flip over their card, and it's a screwdriver, so they don't have that in theirs. So they'll flip it back over and put it under. The next student will go, and they'll see if they have a match. If not, flip it until they get matches. And once the student gets all their matches, their items for the right category, they'll put the rocket ship on the bottom. So if they're done, it'll look like this. And then once everyone finishes, we'll go over it as a class to make sure they got it right. The next activity we're going to do is transportation key sort. For this activity, I'm going to have 3 groups: air, sea, and land. And they're going to have all the keys cut out. And this is going to be individual students. We're not going to do groups for this one because I think they can do it on their own. They'll also have little key rings or book rings for this, but I don't have them right now. They're going to put which form of transportation goes in which place. The helicopter is in the air. They'll see where the sailboat goes. The car is on land. So once they put those all, they'll put each key on the key ring with the place on top. And they're going to turn that into me so I can review and make sure all the students know. And I'll be walking around the classroom as they do that to see if anyone needs help. So there's no reason they shouldn't get it right. I'll be there if they need help. And they're going to turn that one into me. For the closure, I'm going to read the students the book Spot Goes to the Library. This book is really simple. It's a picture book and it's not hard or anything, and that's just because I want to use it for the closure and have the students do a little activity while I'm reading the book or after. They're going to jot down one category that they see in the story. And they're going to put different things they find in the story that can go in that category. So this is just to make sure they understand what a category is. And we'll all go over those as a class and see what they came up with. Make sure each student did come up with something. For the homework, I'm going to give the students a simple worksheet as well, where they just put these items in the food or animal category. This is just to make sure they're reviewing categories, not really to challenge them, but just to make sure they're thinking about it and know what they're doing. And I'm going to check that the next day to make sure they're all on the right page with it. Early finishers have the same type of worksheet as homework, except this one is underwater or in air animals. And they're going to cut them out and paste them on which side they think they go on. So that's just an easy, fun activity for any students that finish early as well. Students with special needs will hopefully be able to work with a paraprofessional. If one is not available, I'm going to work with these students hopefully soon after we do the lesson to make sure they understand everything and have caught on and go through everything more thoroughly with them. Remediation students will have an extra worksheet because I'm going to also go over it again with them. This one is one we did an activity like it in class, on land, on water, or in air, in the vehicles. They're going to have done the lesson with us, so they should already know the answers. But that we can work together with them. I'm going to do this with them and watch them specifically to see if they know what they're doing when they're doing the worksheet. And I'm going to go over everything more thoroughly with them and more in detail as well, hopefully soon after the lesson. Students who show that they have already caught on quickly or know this information already are going to get a different activity to do. It's going to be a little more difficult, but it's fun as well. This is a picture of all the different categories and the items that go in all the categories. They're going to cut them out, and I'm going to have them color them all. They're all going to be not colored. So it makes it more fun for them too. And there are lots of categories instead of just two for them to place all these items in. And that is my first grade vocabulary lesson plan. Hope y'all like it and can't wait to see everyone else's.